The sound you hear is what some experts claim to be a Bigfoot scream. Recorded in the state of Washington by a group of campers in 1971, it is regarded as the highest quality audio of the creature ever captured.
Hello, welcome to Bigfoot Real Encounters. We're glad to have you stop by. We'd also like to take this time to invite you to share your encounter. You can send your stories to the email bfrealencounters@mail.com, where we will feature your story with all of the respect that it deserves. So send your stories in, bfrealencounters@mail.com. We look forward to hearing from you and your great stories soon. Hello everybody, welcome to Bigfoot Real Encounters. This is your host Chris. Welcome to all of our returning viewers as well as new viewers. We have just recently passed a 6-month mark on this channel. And during that 6-month mark, I have had 5 people send me their encounters. I appreciate you people who have sent in your encounters. That is what this channel is for. It is for people who have had encounters to have a place to safely express what happened to them, in a place where you will not be ridiculed, where you will be taken seriously, where your eyewitness account will be repeated faithfully, accurately, without removing any details or anything. The only thing that I may and will change is a cuss word. Nothing else. I will just soften the language from the S word to the word crap. That's it. Will not change any details. I will not remove anything that happened. Some websites and some places I have heard will make those changes and will leave out key details because they don't think it's possible or it doesn't fit what they're trying to promote as what a Bigfoot does or is. I'm not going to do that. If you eyewitness a Bigfoot carrying a ball of light near its chest, that's what I will faithfully narrate for you. And yes, that has been reported. Other places will remove that. I will not. So I want to thank those 5 people who have sent in their requests. I wish more people would. We do need more participation for the channel to continue. You will also notice no more links in the description below. Amazon has canceled my affiliate program due to lack of participation. So for the time being, you will not be bothered by me asking you to click on the links in the description below. Let us continue state by state into the state of North Dakota. We're going to look in McLean County during the year of 2005 in the month of August. This one reads, on August 26 around 2:20 to 2:30 a.m. my 2 cousins were driving back from Minot. They took the back roads to get home faster. They were about 2 to 3 miles from home on Country Road 7 when they said they were just talking and noticed on the left side of the northbound lane a strange, brown, hairy 7 to 8 foot tall thing was standing there. They said they were going about 50 to 55 miles an hour and slowed down a bit. As they passed by it, they tapped on the brakes, and in the brake lights they saw it and punched it back home. They said they were so scared that they were going at least 90 miles an hour to get back. As they got to one of my cousin's house, they went and woke up my uncle and told him that they saw Bigfoot. Then they drove to my house and woke me up. So I said to them, "Yeah, right, like you seen Bigfoot around here." They were both scared and shaking, so that's when I knew that they saw something. So I took 2 spotlights and a 5 million and a 3.5 million. My uncle had a 1 million light also. We asked them to show us, in which they were both agreed after they calmed down a bit. We left the car and took my aunt's van and headed north. They showed us the spot, and I marked by throwing out a full water bottle and asked them which way do you think it was going and if they seen more. She said that it might have been moving west, so we headed westbound on County Road 6 just north of White Shield as we headed about 1 to 2 miles west from County Road 7. We turned northbound on County Road 5. As we were spotlighting in the cut wheat fields, I was just on the passenger side and my uncle was driving. We were both looking around with the lights when I picked up a bright red reflection of eyes. As I told my uncle to stop, I noticed that this thing was on all fours moving west toward us. And then it stopped and what looked like it sat down. I mean, it looked like a gorilla from the movies. As we stopped and sat there, we must have been watching it for about 3 to 5 minutes. It seemed unreal to me, but as it started to realize that this is happening and that we don't have gorillas in North Dakota, that is when my uncle noticed 2 more sets of eyes behind the one we were watching. My cousins started screaming and cussing at us to leave and to get the cops and Game and Fish. So after that, we started to turn around and head back. I noticed it stood up. That's when I said, "Hurry up, let's get Game and Fish out here." When I arrived at my house, my cousin called the BIA and they said they'll contact game warden. My uncle and I told my cousin to tell them that we're going to go back out there and wait for the game warden. My cousins stayed. My cousin's husband wanted to go with us. We started to turn on County Road 5. That's when we noticed the smell of pee and old sweat and slough odor. It wasn't us because I checked the smell inside the van and it smelled better than the outside. We stopped and jumped out and started to listen. That's when we noticed the truck lights on County Road 6. It was the game warden. We flashed him down and talked to him and gave all the info, so he said he'll check the field out and left, moving east with all his spotlights on. As we talked, my uncle said, "Try to call it." So my cousin's husband made a howling sound, and sure enough, another sound came back, a faint bellow, southwest of us about a half mile. There's no cattle around there, so we started to head in that direction and stopped where we thought the sound was at. We had the windows down and started to listen for any sound. There was none, not even crickets or birds or grasshoppers chirping, so we turned around and left, stopped the game warden, and we started looking around until 7 a.m. that morning. We noticed that there was lots of slough and deep weeds, a place for a good hunting spot. On the next day, we started looking for prints, and we found some impressions in the cut wheat field and ditch. The prints were close to 15.5 inches and about 5 or 6 inches wide. We stopped a BIA officer and told him that we found some impressions, so he came out there and took some pictures. The footprints pointed in an east direction. As we started to track them, we found 3 other sets that seemed like they were zigzagging around. After 30 minutes or so, we tracked it to a tree row where it seemed that there were spots or cut hay to put into piles, and pine tree branches 2 inches thick snapped off, the sap still oozing out from the break, and sunflower or tall weed stems in that spot. So we walked around and found a slough just at the end of the tree row about 200 yards away. Had the same stems from the weeds. On the 31st of August, my uncle and I kind of made a path of direction. It looks like they follow sloughs and small ponds, maybe for drinking water. The direction was taking them to Lake Sacagawea. We were west of White Shield when we heard a low scream. A dog that lived at the farmhouse started to bark. Where the spot we seen it and to the location where we heard it, our theory was correct. On September 4, since we left them alone for a couple of days, we went to the spot where we thought that it would be. No luck. They weren't there, so that was the end of that search or hunt until September 9, when 6 kids saw a tall black thing running on 2 legs heading west on BIA 1 just half a mile north of White Shield. I talked to the kids, and they said when it was running in the field, it was black and on 2 legs, and as it crossed the road, it took 3 steps and it was on the other side. This was around 9 p.m. and the sun was setting. My uncle and I drove back there and found nothing. The next day, September 10, we tried to find the path where this thing, or Bigfoot, crossed. We are still looking for signs or even better prints. That's all for now. Well, it looks like they've got organizations involved, fishing game and that type of thing. They had typical Bigfoot sightings with the bad smells and things crossing the road and stuff. Very interesting. Once again, I'd like to take a moment out to ask you, like, share, and subscribe. If you've had an encounter, please send it in to bfrealencounters@mail.com. Also, I have set up a Facebook group, which is private, for those folks who have had encounters wishing to get in touch with other people who have also had encounters or still having ongoing encounters. Talk amongst yourselves, come up with solutions, that type of thing. Again, that's on Facebook. It's called Bigfoot Anonymous. Okay, let's see if we can find another story here. And here we have an older one from back in 1962 in April, Ward County, North Dakota. This one reads, while this incident occurred a long time ago, it may be of some use, as I have never heard of any such sighting in North Dakota. While coming back from a hunting trip outside of Minot, North Dakota, in around the 3rd week of April in 1962, a friend of mine and I were followed by a creature as we returned in the direction of the trailer park in which we lived. My father was working for the Department of the Air Force on the missile site installations at the time. After walking back from some distance out of the prairie, I had the distinct feeling that someone or something was following us. Eventually, I became so uncomfortable that I did look over my right shoulder and saw at a distance of about 50 yards or so what I thought at first was a great ape. I cannot describe to you what I felt at that moment. It fixed me with its eyes and stood up on its hind legs when it saw that it had been seen. As all I had was a single-shot .22, shooting it was out of the question. I got a real good close look. Long, black, shiny hair, oily looking. And it rose from all fours onto its hind feet. I'm certain it had followed us for some time. Very tall. No hair on the face, above its nose, or the palms of its hands. Long arms. Very malevolent expression conveyed to me. I cannot overemphasize this. It began to move in our direction. I was with a partner. Both of us ran as fast as we could. We did not look back after this. Wow, a scary encounter. And of course, back in 1962, people just did not hear stories about Bigfoot. This had to have been very, very scary. That concludes any of the encounters we have out of the state of North Carolina right now. Remember, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so that you are notified when new videos are uploaded. If you've had an encounter recently or many, many years ago, please send it in to bfrealencounters@mail.com. And remember, when you're out during these last few weeks of summer and some nice weather coming up this fall, hiking, backpacking, camping, fishing, picnicking, remember, keep an eye on the tree line to see what's keeping an eye on you. We'll see you in the next one. Once again, another great story. Thanks for tuning in. Please share your encounter. Email us, bfrealencounters@mail.com. Your story is very important. We will treat it with the respect that it deserves. Also, be sure to smash the like button, share, and subscribe. Thanks once again. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Watch out for our next video. Maybe we'll feature yours. Have a great day.